Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Hannover Fair of 2024. I'm happy to welcome you to the Hydrogen and Fuel Cells Europe. You are at the public forum. We are interviewing interesting people from the industry all day long, and that's what we're going to do next as well. So have a seat, make yourself comfortable, because the next topic on stage will be hydrogen value chain challenges, how Continental supports the energy infrastructure transition. And this topic I'm going to discuss with the CTO of the company Continental. So please give a round of applause to Dr. Michael Hofmann.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon.
So I hope you're having a good time here.
We do. We actually do. We came up here in the morning and it was already very busy. Fantastic place to be here and talking hydrogen.
Yeah, definitely. Many people and many opportunities to do business and find new partnerships. Let me quickly introduce your company, even though I think many people know of it. So basically, the Continental is a subsidiary of Continental, which is very well known as an automotive supplier. You also have headquarters here in Hannover, so basically it's a home run. And you are probably, or Continental is probably best known for manufacturing tires. So the question that pops up in our head is, okay, we're going to talk hydrogen today. So that's probably not the first thing that one might think about when thinking about your company. So help us bridge this little gap.
Yeah, thank you. And you will be surprised we will not talk about equipping passenger car with a fuel cell or something other for hydrogen applications. I'm here to represent the industrial part of Continental. We grouped our industrial business in the Continental group sector, and my task is for Continental to develop future technologies for industrial applications, and we decided to move with the large steps also into the hydrogen value chain.
Okay, thank you. So can we dive a little deeper? You are now talking about the hydrogen world. Okay, you have some projects there. Maybe you have some examples for us so that we have some concrete pictures in mind.
We do. We actually do. And you might know us from our typical product portfolio like air springs, power transmission belts, conveyor belts, and industrial hoses. And industrial hoses is actually where we start to close the gap. So we are used to transport all kind of media, from vapor to water to different kinds of oils. And of course, hydrogen is another liquid. From a typical industrial or technological perspective, is just a liquid. But this makes our material expertise so important. One example we have developed is coming from the oil and gas industry. Continental is very, very present in the oil and gas business. Even if we don't brand our products Continental. You might have heard of Dunlop. Dunlop is a brand, a famous rubber brand. We are industrializing our products with a Dunlop brand in the oil and gas industry, or Edelbütter und Schneider, a brand in Hamburg. So what we are currently doing, and we will launch this product in summer, is an ammonia hose. You know that ammonia is the preferred variant of hydrogen to be transported on a long haul, so all those ammonia vessels. And we are transferring our liquefied natural gas hoses from that aspect into ammonia transporting products.
So is it a big challenge to transform your products, or is it basically the same, doing some little changes, or do you really go back to the roots of your material expertise and develop a new thing for ammonia in this case?
If you ask a compound developer, he would say this is something completely different. Yeah, nothing. It's the smallest molecule you can imagine. We have different applications from almost room temperature to minus 250 degrees for liquid hydrogen. So from a material standpoint, it's entirely different. But if you recognize that our company is already present in the oil and gas industry, and also our customers, they convert from fossil fuels to hydrogen, then it's actually pretty close to what we used to do. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay, thank you. I also want to invite the audience, in case you have any questions for Michael, just raise your hand at any time. I will keep an eye on you and I will come to you with the microphone. But right now, I see a large audience, but I don't see questions yet. But I do have questions for you. So earlier, you told me about a second project, quite international. Maybe you can tell the
Yeah.
audience about that too?
Yeah, ammonia happens in the beginning of the value chain where hydrogen was already created and also converted into ammonia, and where we start to, let's say, distribute this around the globe. So very important also for Germany, for as we supposed to become also a large importer for hydrogen. But at the other end of the value chain, we have the last mile distribution, so to say, when it comes to the end user. So we are also in dispenser hoses. So we investigate, and our historical background is also again from the oil and gas business. So you would be surprised to know that when you are in Germany or in Europe, the likelihood that you refuel your truck or your car with using a Continental hose is 80–90%. So we are very strong also in the oil and gas business when it comes to dispenser hoses. And we are developing the next stage for dispenser hoses for hydrogen refueling, because we believe that our material expertise when it comes to thermoplastics and elastomers or polymers in general helps to create a more user-friendly and more safer product.
This development that you are talking about, is that all from your company, or do you also include, for example, universities or other partners that bring in a certain know-how or insight?
You can't work alone and you can't walk alone. I think we all know here in this environment how important it is to find the right partners to partner up. So the dispenser project happens actually on 2 continents. You know, in some regions we prefer 70 bars, in other regions it's 35 bars. So we need to learn to apply the local regional legislations. But we also need to learn what is the right university to partner up for the base and core development of materials which are suitable for hydrogen or any kind of, let's say, methanol or methane or whatever you can imagine how hydrogen is transported. So we are coordinating and we are cooperating with universities, with partners which help buy our products to create a system. So all kind of different customers we actually might have. That's also the reason why we are here, to gain more customer intimacy and to gain a better understanding, whereas our expertise needed along the hydrogen value chain.
So basically, you bring in the little bits and pieces that might be necessary for the overall solution, and you do that in a really subtle way by having the product being basically everywhere in the ecosystem of hydrogen, in the ecosystem of renewable energy, but without being so visible, right? So one could call you a hidden champion in that field.
I wouldn't go that far, to be honest. We are relatively young and a new kid on the block. We are not young when it comes to expertise in the energy sector, but our expertise in hydrogen still needs to be developed. This is why such a forum and why also trade shows like this are so important for us to connect to the right people and to connect to the right partners. So yes, we are some kind of a hidden champion because typically our products we are delivering are not branded Continental. On the other hand, we still believe we have a way to go to a full understanding of hydrogen. And I believe you're not alone in that.
Yeah, I guess we are all in some sort on that journey. I'm looking once again at the audience. So, thank you. We have a question, so if you don't mind.
Thank you. This is Markus Menges from Sefe. One question to the ammonia hoses. Do you see additional off-takers use cases inland, so not in ports with terminals, but inland new off-takes for ammonia that could use ammonia hoses?
Actually, from a technological standpoint, it might be a question of different diameters. If you do an off-take on offshore for terminals, or if you have at other stages of the distribution of ammonia. So I'm actually undecided, and it doesn't also make a real difference for us on which stage of the value chain such a product might apply. But I assume you're asking, is ammonia also a transportation media for medium and short distances? And that's that. In the end, this is all a discussion around cost, total cost, how in which stage ammonia arrives at the end user, be it an industrial end user or even a transportation end user.
So I see a happy face. Thank you for answering the question from the audience. So I want to come back to the title of our session, which basically is Hydrogen Value Chain Challenges. What are the main challenges you see?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges comes back to your question. What is the decisive technology? What will survive and what will be the best scale effect? And our answer to that is how do we as a company take the right decisions with the right speed at the right time to talk to our customers, to identify the use cases and also the pain points we can fix with thermoplastics and elastomeric solutions. We are typically represented when it's about conveying materials, what kind of materials, solids and liquids, whatever. And we are also typically represented when it's about power transmission and when it's about shock and vibration control. So, and here we need to investigate what technology will survive and how we partner up with the best possible partners without also being distracted from dead-end streets.
Okay, so this is more also the technical side, how do we solve it? But then there's also the side of legislation and standardization. Do you see challenges there?
Absolutely. That's maybe for an international company like ours, where we do projects in Australia, in Japan, in Europe, specifically in Northern Europe, but also in Brazil and in Canada. How is there any possibility to find standards, industry standards, and how can Continental help with our global presence to find those standards and to support the authorities and also other larger industrial partners to find those standards to make sure that this won't become even more complex? I think the transformation of our energy sector towards hydrogen is complex enough. It would be very supportive if we could agree on fewer and much more global standards.
That's actually a good point, because different markets have different regulations. We have different circumstances. We have different society that might think differently, will be open to different sorts of solutions or maybe not open to a certain solution. But in the end, we have to keep in mind that the problem that we are facing and the thing that we are working on is a global challenge. So maybe on that basis, we need to think more globally overall to bring more, make an easier path for the transition that we are currently in.
Yeah. And I'm also sure you all experience the different speeds we have in the different legislations and in the different countries. Yeah? And we as Continental, we observed this very diligently in the last years. And it's also important to see that tipping point for green hydrogen, or any other color doesn't lead us to a reduced carbon footprint. So we also need to, as a consumer of hydrogen, and not only as somebody who supplies product into the hydrogen industry, we need to be also observative that this whole value chain from the renewable energies towards bringing the hydrogen to the end user is also helping to contribute to our climate goals.
Yeah, exactly. So we are not only the people working in the industry, we are all consumers. And it's not only about our long-term goal to develop something, but it's also about the daily actions, basically. So can you give us some examples of how sustainability plays into your daily life in the company?
Yeah, as an elastomer and a rubber company, you can imagine that closing the loop and also the circular economy topic is of high importance. And you see Continental, and now we are speaking for the entire company, is of course also investigating how we can contribute to the recyclability of rubber. Specifically on the hydrogen industry and the hydrogen portfolio, we see there's a potential with a lot of interesting thermoplastics which have by nature a higher recyclability as rubber, also a better material resistance and material characteristics supportive for hydrogen and any derivatives, so that we can use our expertise also to not only develop products for the hydrogen industry, but also products which become recyclable and also support our transformation towards circular economy.
Maybe we have some questions on this topic right now? No, doesn't look like that, but I do have questions.
I'm not surprised. Continental in the industry sector is not totally known, and but people would be surprised to see behind which product is actually Continental as a manufacturer and as somebody who is an industry partner for developing specific and very specific solutions for individual pain points along the transportation needs for hydrogen and its derivatives or oil and gas products.
Yeah, so you're basically mainly doing B2B business.
Correct.
And that's why your product is not as visible
Correct.
for the customer in the end. Earlier you told us some few examples, but maybe there are some other things where people already find your products in daily life. Can you give us something?
I think it's also a typical industry fare here. So whenever it comes to power transmission belts, you will find products from us here. S-springs, not only for mobile applications, but also for stationary anti-vibration products for stationary equipment. That is something you will soon see us also with further products in the hydrogen value chain, some compensators, for example. There's a lot of stainless steel technology at the moment, and when we scale up this industry, we believe that thermoplastics and elastomeric products will add value for speeding up assembly processes, accepting higher tolerances in the design of a system. So there are a lot of engineering stuff actually which we can deliver to the industries.
Yeah, so basically, as mentioned earlier, you are focusing on you're bringing in your material expertise.
Correct.
And you are already very familiar with the industry that you're working in. The thing that is currently changing is basically the application. So the thing in the middle, but you have the foundation that you need. You have the environment that you need. So do you see a challenge in this transformation for your company and for the people, or would you say it's actually just a smooth sailing into a new environment?
But not at all. It's not at all a smooth sailing. It's still a complex chemical. It's still a complex feature to deliver products, safe products into the hydrogen industry. I think we have a tiny little advantage because many of our customers know us from the fossil fuel business. So I believe we have some customer intimacy here. We are, as Continental, in a transformation as many of our customers are. We need to change our portfolio to follow our customers in that transformation, but our customers also change their portfolio. I see a lot of customers we have here who didn't think about hydrogen 10, 15 years ago, and now they see they need to convert their entire business model towards renewables, so do we.
So, I'm sorry, we are running out of time, but this is basically the perfect transition. So if you want to create this journey together, if you aren't already, I will shortly be sending Michael off stage, and this is your chance to go talk to him. You are around for this day only, as I learned.
Yeah, my colleagues and my experts, or our experts, are here for the trade show, but I am only here for today.
Yeah, but use that opportunity and talk to Michael. Maybe he is the perfect man for you and the perfect company to solve those problems that you're dealing with and put in the little puzzle pieces that you need. And yeah, thank you once again for being here on stage and
Thanks,
for the
Mareike.
insights. So have a great day and enjoy the fair.
Thank you. Dankeschön.